Alright, I'm in a bit of a rush because I'm leaving 5 minutes earlier than usual, since the Max left 5 minutes earlier than usual yesterday, and I'm figuring that might become a common thing because it seemed like they were just set to go at 1:09 instead of the usual 1:14. So instead of leaving a minute or two after 1, I'm gonna leave at 12:55, and that way, worst case scenario, if they are back on the regular schedule, I'm just waiting on the Max for an extra 5 minutes, and that should be fine. So yesterday was just really nice, even if it doesn't last. Even in forgetting my icy hot, I didn't need to have an emergency situation where I needed to go buy another one, because I had minimal discomfort for pretty much the full day. I felt a little bit of discomfort early on. It kind of got less and less as the day went on, and I was more active and productive yesterday than most of my shifts. And by the time, the last 3 hours, I don't even remember having really any discomfort. And then I got home and I was awake for 4 hours and had borderline no discomfort at that time, which is probably why I actually had energy to actually do some vlog stuff. And for those of you that aren't subscribed to my primary channel, Steve the Amateur Historian, there's that plug. I also have a Patreon page if you want to help me out there. Help out my poor fibromyalgia body. But yeah, I'm starting to post a lot more stuff there because I'm posting some of my resources from videos I've done. This guy just up there chomping his nuts. And oh, hello kitty. Enough of the distractions. So it felt so amazing, not even to just feel minimal discomfort compared to previous days, but to feel practically no discomfort and to even remember what that feels like. And so far today, I've been up for about an hour, and I feel pretty good, My legs are a little tight in the thigh region, and barely noticeable discomfort in my upper arms. And that's it. And even that's negligible. So back to work. Another 9-hour shift today. So the one thing that changed is usually the last couple of weeks I've been working Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 9-hour shifts. 5.5-hour shift on Friday, then another 9-hour shift on Saturday. Well, Friday and Saturday switched. So I'm working 4 9-hour days in a row and then finishing it off with a 5.5-hour shift. I don't know if that's better or worse. I guess it's nice to have the really short shift right at the tail end of the long stretch of work days when you feel real wiped out. So anyway, today's just going to be me and the boys. Me and 3 other introverts. Probably be a pretty passive, docile day, including the fact that it's a Wednesday. Ooh! Woohoo! Caught the Max. Because I got there 7 minutes before it left. At least I'm not running behind like I was yesterday. I ended up being 4 minutes late to work, but honestly, it could have been worse. So now I've got time. So I'm gonna do my usual hit up of this place that I'm ashamed to shop at, but I mean, it's the only place in the area to get what I need. And then it's off to work for hopefully a nice, quiet, passive day of employment. Walmart trip complete. I'd show you the bag of goodies I have, but they were all out of bags. At least part of the store that I was in. So I had to scan it and then kind of lug it all outside so I could then stick it in here. So, thank goodness I have this thing, because waddling all that crap all the way over to work over here would not be a preferable adventure. So we'll see. Day number 2 out of 4 straight 9-hour shifts. See how I'm feeling? I'm feeling fine generally so far. See how I'm feeling several hours from now. So I'm on my last break. It's been a dead slow day. We've had less work to do than usual. It's on top of the fact that it's a Wednesday, slowest day of the week, and we've had 4 of us working today. Like, honestly, I could handle this day by myself easy, and there's 4 of us, so I'm trying to open this with one hand, and it's not working out. There we go. Pretty good day overall. I'm kind of starting to feel a little wiped out. I'm starting to feel a little stiffness kind of just north of my wrist. But nothing terrible. I've actually felt pretty solid all day. Aside from the guy that I went and checked the restroom, there's a guy in there just kind of going like, and like slamming the door, slamming his toilet seat down. So I'm like, it's probably just some fuck boy getting dramatic. And then I go to use the toilet like 10 minutes later, the guy comes back in. I haven't seen the guy, but I know his sounds. And he comes in and he's just kind of like I thought he was going to throw up. And then he kind of just went into the bathroom. And each time he's been in a stall, he's like got something playing on his phone. I don't know if he's listening to something or watching something. I don't know. The guy just sounded just like he's not having a good night. And granted, a lot of people that come to the theater, they get sick and throw up or something else happens. But I'm just like, during COVID times, that shit stresses me out. Like, keep your sick, disgusting ass away from me. I swear, I start showing COVID symptoms in the next like 4 to 7 days. I'm 100% blaming it on that guy. But anyway, so I'm hoping it's like, I don't know, it's between 8:30 and 8:45 right now, and I'm hoping to maybe cut out around 10. One, because we're going to be able to start our closing stuff like a half hour earlier than usual, pretty much by 9:30. And that stuff doesn't take long, and there's going to be 4 of us doing it. So pretty much probably before it even gets to be 10, there's going to be 4 of us walking around with nothing to do. So I'm going to try to see if I can get off like closer to 10. Better odds of catching a max now that the maxes seem to be running on whatever schedule they feel like, as opposed to the actual ones that they post. So I don't know how much I can trust them. So hopefully, it'll just make things a little bit easier. 1 less hour of work. It's easier on me. I'll still be working like 36, 37 hours this week, so I'm not worried about losing time. So yeah, hopefully maybe closer to 10:15 I can get out of here. That's my hope. Wish me luck, even though you're going to see this video long after all this happens. Wish me luck in the aftermath. I did it, America. Managed to get off an hour early. Primarily because all the stuff that we're responsible to get done, as people getting off at 11, we got done at like 9:55. And there's 4 of us, and there's nothing to do. And thank God there was way down over here on the street, right off the parking lot. When we were taking the trash out over there was like a domestic situation going on over here. There was, I think, the woman was in the car, and the guy was like just pacing back and forth, and at one moment she kind of like peeled her tires and started to take off and then stopped abruptly. I was like, damn, she tried to run him over, but if he's like accosting her, trying to do shit, like, I mean, I don't know, they weren't leaving. So I was wondering, that was only like 15 minutes ago, maybe they're still here. There's a guy over here. I don't like that at all. Yay! The domestic situation didn't make its way up here, which really wouldn't make sense because you can't pull a car in over there without blowing through like a metal or a like chain link fence. So it wouldn't really make sense they got up here, but whatever. It's nice and quiet for now. But it's it's nice when you're still working full-time hours and you can get off a little bit early, have a little extra time to deflate. Right after I got off my 15, when I last talked to you before getting off, I kind of started feeling, the stuff's kind of starting to happen. Feeling a little strained, but a lot of it was like just in my stomach area, and I was kind of starting to have a little bit of a stomach episode. Had to go to the bathroom a couple of times. I'm already feeling a lot better. Might have to go a few more times to the bathroom. And again, process of, I've read some pieces that have said, when you're changing your diet so drastically, it can take up to like over 2 months for you to kind of settle in and become fully adjusted. And here I am, I'm just about at a month. So it wouldn't surprise me if it's just a symptom of altering my diet and maybe something I had tonight wasn't super great and just didn't settle well. That can also happen. But so yeah, I kind of was starting to feel, you know, that thing I sometimes get where like the last hour and a half, I'm kind of like, oh boy, I'm kind of starting to feel myself getting a little run down. But it never really got that bad. And even now, just slight, you know, kind of stiffness more than anything in my, you know, certain parts of my arms. But stomach's still a little bit queasy, but not horrible. So hopefully dodging a bullet here. But I mean, as far as the workday went, I mean, it was pretty much on par with yesterday. In fact, it may have even been a little bit better overall than yesterday. And yesterday was by far the best I felt in like about a week, at least a week. So that's nice. Enjoy the good days. Nice and quiet. Yeah, fellow Portland vlogger, Clearski the Creeper. I noticed he did a video today, which would be yesterday, about the Burgerville. It's like on the other side of the bowling alley here that's been boarded up. And it's still closed. They said it was only tentative, but as long as there's this, like you see, there's still this big, like, there's just a lot of homeless people. Because over here, along the bike path, it's actually gotten smaller. The rats have stayed, but the amount of homeless people, you know, if you look down here, this was lined with, somebody actually finally cleaned it up a little bit. Yeah, there's actually, they actually, like, it looks like somebody genuinely did a cleanup recently. It hasn't looked that clean since before I went back to work. Oh, my legs hurt. My fight or flight just kicked in a little bit. I'm here all alone. Right when I stopped recording, I hear this guy go, hey! And he's whistling at me and trying to get my attention. I'm like, shit! I'm stuck here alone with whoever this is. And then he's just like, hey, you got a cigarette? And I was like, no. Like, I just kind of turned to him. I'm like, yeah, because I didn't want to go anywhere near this guy just because I don't freaking trust anybody here. He's just like, you got a cigarette? And I was like, no, sorry. And I was like, he's like, oh, all right, thanks. Then he just went away. And the Mac's supposed to be here in the next 1 to 2 minutes, so. But it was just the fact that I'm here alone and all of a sudden somebody was coming up behind me. I was just like, okay, get ready to knife somebody. Greetings. Look who made it home alive. No, I did legitimately get a little shook when I was walking because I was all alone at the Mac stop, and I started hearing this guy like, hey, and whistled to me, and I'm like, who's this son of a bitch gonna be? Turned out to be no big deal. I was like, sorry, I don't have a cigarette. And he's like, oh, thank you. Like, he actually smiled, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm fine. And I made it home. I've been feeling pretty much fine since I've gotten home. Had some fruit, had some blueberries, had an apple. I'm drinking some protein water. Might as well get a little bit more protein in me, and it's really all I have to drink. I need to restock things a little bit around here in terms of available beverages, but I have this at least. So anyway, it's like pushing 1 in the morning. I'm gonna be going to sleep before too long, heading back to work tomorrow. But I mean, these 2 days back at work have been, I've been feeling amazingly well. You know, you can only hope that that continues as you try to be healthier and maintain a positive attitude. So all that said, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for following me as I, you know, do my thing, live each day, day by day, and I will see you tomorrow.